Texas is a land steeped in archaeological enigmas, where ancient relics, mysterious rock carvings, and burial grounds whisper of primeval human existence and forgotten societies. Locations such as the Galt site fundamentally question our timelines for the initial settlement of North America, positioning Texas as a crucial landscape for unraveling prehistoric secrets. These discoveries offer some of the most primitive indications of ceremonial or spiritual activity in ancient Texas. The figure known as the Neanderthal Lady is particularly captivating because of the vast amount that remains a mystery. Researchers have been unable to conclusively link her to any specific culture or people. Her interment occurred before the rise of established civilizations like the Clovis culture, upsetting long-held beliefs about the timing and methods of the first migrations to the Americas. Questions also persist about the nature of her existence. What was her status within her group? What led to her death? What were her people's beliefs regarding mortality and an afterlife? Modern methods like radiocarbon dating and forensic modeling have helped to sketch an outline of her potential life. Yet numerous details are still shrouded in uncertainty. Continuing genetic research, comparisons with other ancient skeletons, and new excavations at the location serve only to intensify the enigma. Indeed, one of the most stunning and cryptic archaeological finds in Texas is the skeleton nicknamed the Neanderthal Lady. Discovered in 1983 near the town of Leander, north of Austin, this almost whole female skeleton is believed to be somewhere between 10,000 and 13,000 years old, making her one of the most ancient human skeletons discovered in North America. Her moniker, a blend of Leander and Neanderthal, is a clever but inaccurate nickname. She was a fully modern human, but her immense age and remarkable preservation have made her a compelling focus of scientific inquiry. The Neanderthal Lady was located during a survey by the Texas Department of Transportation at the Wilson Leonard site along Brushy Creek, an area abundant with prehistoric significance. In essence, the Neanderthal Lady transcends being merely an old skeleton. She is a quiet narrator from a vanished era. Her remains offer a precious and uncommon window into the existence of some of North America's premier inhabitants, and the unresolved questions she embodies continue to drive scientific exploration and public wonder. In Kerr County, the Bering Sinkhole emerges as one of the most haunting and fascinating archaeological locations in the American Southwest. This natural limestone chasm served as a place of interment for more than 5 millennia, from roughly 5000 BCE to 500 CE, establishing it as not only one of the longest utilized mortuary sites in North America, but also one of the most perplexing. What distinguishes the Bering Sinkhole is its highly unconventional burial practice. Archaeologists found that ancient peoples would position their dead at the sinkhole's rim and then let the bodies fall into the vertical cavity, frequently accompanied by heavy limestone boulders. This tradition, maintained across countless generations, led to a layered accumulation of human remains and artifacts, creating a vertical chronicle of ritualistic and cultural change. Digs conducted in the 1980s unearthed the remains of no fewer than 62 people, alongside a variety of grave goods like stone implements, bone tools, and ornaments made from shell. The inclusion of these offerings implies the burials were ceremonial acts, not just a simple means of disposal. Yet the deep meaning and symbolism behind dropping bodies from on high are still not understood. Was it an act of sacrifice, a method to return the deceased to the earth, or a religious ceremony linked to concepts of the afterlife? The sinkhole's uninterrupted use across thousands of years points to a deeply ingrained cultural memory or tradition, likely transmitted orally from one generation to the next. The specific identities of the groups who utilized the sinkhole and their relationships over the centuries, however, are largely a mystery. Furthermore, the fact that rocks were dropped with or on top of the bodies poses additional questions. Were the stones meant to secure the dead, shield the living, or carry some spiritual weight? Beyond its cultural puzzles, the Bering Sinkhole offers exceptional preservation conditions, enabling thorough forensic and genetic analysis. Studies of the bones provide clues about the diet, health, and potential causes of death of these ancient individuals, while isotopic analysis might reveal where they resided and roamed. Ultimately, the Bering sinkhole defies our contemporary grasp of death rituals and cultural persistence in prehistoric North America, acting as both a scientific treasure and a symbolic enigma that hints at profound spiritual traditions we may never fully comprehend. At the Hueco Tank site, a gallery of rock art provides a window into ancient spiritual beliefs. The images are believed to depict gods, spirits, or perhaps shamans thought to possess unique abilities or a link to the supernatural. Certain scholars propose these masks could be renderings of Mesoamerican deities such as Tlaloc, the Aztec rain god, or Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent god, whose cultural reach stretched far north of the Mexican frontier into what is now the American Southwest. The rock art at Hueco Tanks is so compelling not just for its aesthetic value, but for the cultural questions raised by the imagery. The site sits in a region that served as a nexus for interactions among diverse native groups over thousands of years. The art itself is thought to have been integral to ceremonies related to hunting, procreation, and spiritual belief systems, with the stones and caves themselves imbued with spiritual importance. Some specialists contend that the masks and human-like figures might have been part of ritual enactments or shamanic activities, possibly used to summon divine power during ceremonies. Besides the religious dimension, Hueco Tank's proximity to water sources and rock shelters indicates it likely functioned as a gathering spot for peoples from various regions, forging a cultural intersection where artistic styles, beliefs, and rituals were shared and transformed. This makes the rock art a cultural tapestry, showcasing a fusion of indigenous traditions from the Archaic period with later influences from Mesoamerican civilizations. Despite its clear cultural significance, deciphering the precise meaning of the masks and other petroglyphs is an elusive task. While certain images point toward deities or spiritual beings, the absence of written account from the artists means that interpretations are largely built on speculation and theory. Some researchers theorize that the masked figures could symbolize transformative states, where people might morph into other entities like animals or supernatural beings. Others believe the paintings were an early form of shamanic art used in healing rites or spiritual voyages. The debate over the artwork's exact function continues. Was it strictly religious, or did it also have practical applications, like marking territory or communicating with other tribes? The appearance of similar iconography in both the American Southwest and Mesoamerica introduces another layer of mystery, prompting questions about the connections between these distant cultures and the potential for cultural exchange long before Europeans arrived. Meanwhile, discoveries from a different era tell another Texas story. As explorers investigated the submerged site of the San Esteban shipwreck, they recovered a multitude of artifacts that offered a rare look into 16th century Spanish maritime culture. One of the most significant items from the wreck was the oldest mariner's astrolabe ever found, a critical tool for sea navigation. This brass instrument was employed to gauge the angle of the sun and stars, enabling mariners to calculate their latitude. Dating to the mid-1500s, this artifact is priceless for the study of early Spanish navigation and technology. It stands as a testament to the skill of 16th century Spanish mariners, who depended on such sophisticated instruments to navigate the often perilous waters of the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. Alongside the astrolabe, other relics from the wreck included pottery, glass beads, cannonballs, and fragments of the ship's rigging. These items give us a sense of daily existence aboard the San Esteban and the types of merchandise common in the Spanish colonial era. The ceramics, for instance, display a blend of European and Mesoamerican styles, illustrating the cultural interplay in the colonial world. The discovery of cannonballs underscores the ever-present danger of piracy and hostile encounters that Spanish vessels faced while sailing through American waters. In South Texas, the Morris Mound stands as an archaeological site that has produced a trove of artifacts, providing a captivating view into the lives of ancient peoples who once called the region home. The mound is part of a larger archaeological area thought to have been used for burials and ceremonies. Among the numerous discoveries are polished stone tools, pottery, and other cultural objects that hint at the rituals and daily routines of these early societies. Yet, despite the abundance of material evidence, the full meaning of these artifacts and their ties to ancient rites are still not understood, leaving scientists and archaeologists with many unresolved questions. The Morris Mound was first found in the early 20th century, and later excavations have unearthed countless objects suggesting it was a hub of spiritual and cultural life. The stone tools discovered range from simple scrapers and blades to meticulously crafted polished stones. While many are linked to everyday activities like hunting and food preparation, some are so ornate they imply a ritual purpose, possibly as ceremonial implements or offerings. The pottery from Morris Mound is also especially fascinating, with vessels varying from plain, functional pots to more embellished pieces, indicating a developed artistic sensibility. Many pottery shards feature geometric designs and symbolic motifs, some of which are also seen in other indigenous cultures across the Southwest and northern Mexico. These decorative patterns might have held spiritual meaning, connecting the people to their deities or the environment. Without written histories, however, the true significance of these designs remains a subject of conjecture. What makes the Morris Mound so intriguing is the ambiguity about its main purpose. While archaeologists think it was a burial ground and that its builders engaged in complex funeral rituals, the lack of human remains within the mound itself is puzzling. Were the bodies interred elsewhere, or did other practices for disposing of the dead exist? The absence of clear evidence pointing to a single cultural group further complicates the interpretation. This area was inhabited by many different cultures over the centuries, and it's plausible that the mound was used by several groups, each with its own customs. The mound's location near the Rio Grande also enhances its importance, as it may have been a crossroads for various cultures, fostering exchange. The artifacts here could be a mixture of traditions, mirroring the interactions between local groups and others from surrounding territories, including Mesoamerica. Despite the wealth of artifacts found, numerous questions persist. What were the elaborate stone tools and pottery used for? How did they connect to religious ceremonies? Did the people of Morris Mound share a single belief system, or was their culture more varied? The real meaning behind these artifacts may never be fully known, but the site is a crucial piece in the puzzle of South Texas's ancient past. In Central Texas, the Galt site is one of the most consequential archaeological finds in North America. Estimated to be between 16,000 and 20,000 years old, this location has surrendered thousands of ancient stone tools, presenting some of the strongest proof of human presence in the Americas during the Pleistocene epoch. The Galt site is especially significant because it defies the conventional timelines regarding when and how humans first came to the Americas. The discoveries at Galt indicate that people were on the continent much earlier than previously thought, posing critical questions about the origins and dispersal of the first inhabitants. First identified in the 1990s, the site revealed enormous quantities of stone tools as archaeologists began to dig. These implements were located in layers of sediment, some corresponding to distinct archaeological periods reaching back to the end of the last ice age. The tools include projectile points, scrapers, blades, and hammerstones made of flint and chert, all suggesting the site was used by hunter-gatherers with sophisticated toolkits for hunting, processing food, and crafting other goods. As work progressed, scientists saw that the tools were spread through multiple layers, indicating continuous use over a vast span of time. This was a landmark discovery, as it pointed to a deeply layered history of human presence, contradicting the idea that the first people, known as the Clovis culture, only arrived around 13,000 years ago. The age of the Galt site fundamentally alters our understanding of early human migration. Traditionally, the Clovis culture was seen as the first identifiable group to settle North America. The tools at Galt, however, challenge this narrative, suggesting humans may have arrived far earlier. This raises new questions. How did these early migrants get here? Did they use the ice-free corridor that opened between glaciers, or did they travel a coastal route? Could these people have been part of a migratory wave that preceded the Clovis? The Gault site offers powerful support for the pre-Clovis theory, which suggests that the peopling of the Americas happened in multiple stages, not just with the arrival of the Clovis people. In the rugged terrain of West Texas, near Big Bend National Park, another amazing archaeological find has illuminated the hunting methods of ancient indigenous people who lived there over 7,000 years ago. Inside a cave, archaeologists found an almost complete hunting toolkit containing a range of implements like dart tips, a boomerang-like object, and pieces of an atlotl, or spear thrower. This discovery is important not just for the variety of tools found, but for the glimpse it offers into the cultural practices and technological ingenuity of early peoples in the Big Bend area. The kit was exceptionally well-preserved thanks to the cave's dry and protected environment. The items included dart tips, likely fastened to spear shafts for hunting large animals like bison, which were present at the time. These points were skillfully made using flint knapping techniques. Also found was a boomerang-like object, showing that these people had a sophisticated grasp of aerodynamics and diverse hunting tactics. Perhaps the most compelling piece was the spear thrower, a device used to amplify the force and range of a thrown spear. Finding parts of an atlotl is evidence of advanced hunting technology, demonstrating how these early inhabitants developed tools to effectively hunt big game. The presence of a boomerang-like tool is especially noteworthy, as it's one of the earliest examples of such a device in the Americas. While often linked with Australian Aboriginal cultures, its discovery here suggests similar technologies may have been developed independently in North America. The complete set of tools suggests the cave was more than a brief hunting stop. It might have been a specialized location for tool maintenance or production for larger hunts. In South Texas, the unearthing of musical instruments crafted from human bones has provided a new perspective on the spiritual and cultural lives of prehistoric hunter-gatherers. These instruments, often made from arm bones, show not only a surprising degree of craftsmanship, but also hint at a profound symbolic meaning. Among the most stunning discoveries is a rasp fashioned from a human humerus, adorned with intricate notches and geometric patterns. This singular object is thought to have been used to create music, showing that early people in South Texas had developed rich cultural practices that went beyond mere survival. The bone rasp features carved notches along its surface, which would have produced sound when scraped, similar to a modern percussion instrument. The geometric decorations suggest the object had aesthetic or symbolic importance beyond its function. While the rasp is a standout example, other bone instruments like flutes and pipes have been found elsewhere in the Americas. However, using human bones as the material adds a layer of interpretative complexity. It suggests these early societies held a ritualistic or sacred view of the human body, possibly using the remains of the deceased to craft items of great cultural or spiritual power. This practice hints at complex spiritual beliefs where music was a powerful medium for communicating with the divine or honoring ancestors. The decorative elements on the rasp could have conveyed stories, rituals, or ancestral links through visual language, suggesting a rich oral tradition expressed through art. This discovery fits into a wider pattern of musical and ceremonial objects across the prehistoric Americas, where music was a central part of ritual and remembrance. Similar instruments in Mesoamerica suggest that these practices were widespread, highlighting the interconnectedness of ancient American cultures. Finally, in 2024, a truly remarkable discovery was made near Salina, Texas, where the almost complete skeleton of a plesiosaur was excavated. This 150-million-year-old fossil provides an extraordinary window into marine existence during the Jurassic period. The find is significant not only for its rarity, but also for its exceptional preservation, which includes flipper bones and even shark bite marks on the fossilized skeleton. Plesiosaurs were marine reptiles known for their long necks and 4 large flippers, making them formidable swimmers. The Salina plesiosaur is particularly valuable because its near-complete state allows scientists to study its anatomy and behavior. The shark bite marks suggest this plesiosaur was attacked by large predatory sharks, offering direct evidence of predator-prey dynamics in Jurassic seas. The flippers offer insight into how these reptiles adapted to aquatic life, propelling themselves with an up-and-down motion similar to modern sea turtles. Studying these details helps scientists reconstruct their swimming patterns in daily lives. The well-preserved fossil also allows for the study of plesiosaur growth and aging. This discovery adds to Texas's reputation as a key location for unearthing important prehistoric specimens. The find in North Texas, an area not traditionally known for such large fossils, makes it even more significant and highlights the potential for future paleontological discoveries across the state, sparking public interest in the rich prehistoric past of Texas.